that your mind is the most powerful weapon in this universe. Your mind is the most powerful weapon in this universe. You ever have a see somebody with a tool, or see somebody with some equipment, you be like, man, he don't know what to do with that. He don't even know how to operate that. Well, a lot of us are the same way. We have this mind that is so powerful. We have this mind that nobody really taught us about when we were in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and even in life. Nobody taught us about the mind. So here we have this most powerful weapon, and we don't really know how to use it. And so I'm going to tell you 3 things that I want to encourage you to do, how to use it. Because again, at the end of the day, our mind can be used to build up, or it can tear down. It can be used to create, or it can be used to destroy. It can be used to think through things, or it can be used to think out of things. And so at the end of the day, I want you to understand that your mind is the most powerful weapon that there is. And so everything that there is and there was that's created in life started in the mind. But one of the things about it is we're not usually taught. We're not taught about the functionalities of the mind. So I'm going to give you some functionalities of the mind, and my encouragement to you is use them. Use them for your benefit. Use them for your benefit. So really quickly this morning, I'm going to give you some information as you're going to work or wherever you're going, coming from work, whatever it is. Okay, your mind has 6 functions to it, 6 different types of functions to it that's going to help you. You're going to help you make the decisions you want to make to get the things you want to get. Number one of the things that your mind has, the components of your mind, is you have what they call the will. The will is basically your ability to decide on something. When's the last time you just said, you know what, no matter how you felt, I will do this? And so that means at the end of the day, nobody can measure your human spirit. Nobody can measure the power and the strength of your will. And that means that when you make up your mind to do something, you say, I will do this. And when you put a plan to it, you put a definite end to it. At the end of the day, man, you're the most powerful person that can't be stopped when you put your will to it. The next thing that your mind has that you have this, not the next person to you, they may have it too, but you got it, is your ability, your perception. That means your ability to perceive things, how you see things. You can have 2 people look at the same thing, but you look at one of them and they see tragedy. You see another person, they see opportunity. But you have the ability to perceive from your mind. That means you get a chance to see something. But then at the end of the day, you get a chance to decide how you're going to look at that. What's the situation that's going on in your life right now? What is the toughest situation, the most adverse situation? How are you looking at it? How do you perceive it? I always say, man, I always have these sunglasses around, right? And so at the end of the day, you got these sunglasses, right? Now, these sunglasses are just like your perception, just like your attitude, your perception. You can put these sunglasses on and they can be black tint. That means you're going to see everything through this black tint. That's how you see your world. You see your problems through it. You see your opportunities through it. But if I had glasses and they were yellow tint, that means everything I see will be it'll basically be off of the yellow tint. So it's the same thing with your perception, your attitude, your mindset towards things. You have the ability to perceive any situation the way you want it. So don't let nobody tell you how you're supposed to think. Don't let nobody tell you how you're supposed to look at your situation. Don't let nobody define you of where you're at in your life right now. Because you're where you're at because you're supposed to be there. But you have an opportunity to grow from there. The next thing you have in our mind, the most powerful weapon in the world, is you have your imagination. Okay, you have your imagination. That means that, listen, you have a creative force inside of you that can make dreams come true. That can create things. Remember, think about this. Everything that there is in life right now, everything that we can see was made by something the unseen. It started as an image in the mind. Because we think in pictures, everything starts in the mind. This phone you're on started in the mind. The car I'm driving started in the mind. That building, the home, wherever, it started in the mind as a picture, the imagination. But I'm sure most inventors, most people that are creative, most people that are known for things that we use all the time, when they had the idea, guess what? People doubted them. People thought they were crazy. People thought Thomas Edison was crazy. People thought Einstein was crazy. People thought everybody, Steve Jobs was crazy. People thought the people with the imagination that dared to dream, that dared to write it down, create a plan, they thought it was crazy. Here's my advice to you. you don't need anybody's permission to be great. You don't need anybody's permission, you know what I mean, to create wonderful and great things. You don't need anybody's permission to write down your ideals and to put a plan to it, to put a date to it and go after it. You have that inside of you. That is the power of your mind. That's why your mind is such a weapon. Because with that mind, you can create the most amazing thing. You can create, and it don't even have to be on a grandeur scale for everybody. It can just be as simple as a daily plan for yourself today on how you're going to walk out your life with the most peace today. It could be you creating an ideal situation. It could be you creating a health plan, you creating a financial plan, you creating something. You have the ability to do that. And the next thing that your mind has that makes it the most powerful thing is you have what you call the intuition. The intuition is that internal voice, that internal knowing that says, you know what, I just got a gut feeling about it. You ever had that before? Where everybody's saying one thing, but out of nowhere, you just have a gut feeling about this person. You have a gut feeling about this situation. Or how about for a mother or just somebody in a relationship, or you just feel you're just so connected to somebody that, you know what, you start to call them. And they was like, you know what, I was just texting you. Because you're connected. You're on a very similar vibration. You have the intuition. You see, we were not created. We were not created and made, you know what I mean, just to have somebody to control our lives. We were meant to and created to be able to live our life from the inside out. Because at the end of the day, we're spirit beings. We just happen to have a body. And so when that intuition, it works on the spiritual realm. Because remember, the vibrations, the spirit, you can't destroy it. Okay? And it never has a beginning. It just always is. And so when you're on that same level, when you're in that same vibration, you get that intuition. You get that intuition about something. And it's just that inner knowing. So I encourage you, what is the situation, decisions you have to make on your job, at your home, whatever it is, man, trust your intuition. Don't go against your intuition. When that inner voice is telling you, hey, man, run away from this dude. Or, hey, yo, you might need to stop hollering at her old girl. You know what I'm saying? Or, man, I need to be more responsible. Or maybe I need to come home and I need to do something around the house. You know what I mean? That's going to keep me in harmony with my wife. Whatever it may be, trust your intuition. Trust your gut feeling. Because at the end of the day, when we do it, you know, okay, we activate our mind. And the other thing that our mind has, what makes it the most powerful weapon, is we have the ability to reason. The ability to reason basically allows us to accept or reject whatever we see, whatever we hear. Remember, we got the five senses, but the ability to reason allows you to accept it or reject, which means this: if you got up this morning, you turned on the bad news, or you listened to the radio and they started talking about this, they started talking about that, about the way the world is, the way you are, they started giving their opinion. If you accepted it, then you basically brought into what they're saying and it becomes your reality as well. But if you rejected it, then at the end of the day, you're basically putting a stake in the ground and saying, yeah, that may be true for you, but that ain't true for me. When they say, you know, African Americans is going to this, that, and the other, listen, I don't have to put myself in that category. I get a chance to decide my life. You get a chance to decide your life. You get to decide what actions you put into play. You get to decide where you go, what you say, what you think. You get to decide that. That's your ability to reason. You see, most people walking around with other people's opinions of them. They're walking around with other people's habits. They're walking around understanding that, you know what, I came from my mom and my dad, and my mom and dad had these certain issues or these certain patterns, or I've been around a certain group of people, and they got these certain bad habits, and I just been around them long enough that I started to accept them, and now they become true in my life. Well, my encouragement to you, man, is activate that ability to reason today. That means, hey, you can accept or reject. If I say, man, listen, you got great things planned ahead of you, you can be like, you know what, man, I accept that. I totally accept that. That's going to happen to me. When somebody say, man, how's your day going? I'm like, you know what, it's doing great, and it's only getting better. That's my reasoning. That's how I see it. What about you? What about you? Are you saying, here we go again? Or something always seemed to happen to me? Remember, you have the ability to reason. And the last one that you have is you have a memory. Your memory is, everybody has a perfect memory. But remember this, a memory is very much like a muscle. You have to work it. You have to work it. So that means, remember, back in the day, they used to be able to memorize 5 books, 5 chapters from beginning to the end. Their memory, their ability to memorize is the same as it is today. Ours is the same as it was back then. It's just that we haven't exercised it. I cannot expect myself to go on a track and run a 10-second 100-meter dash if I never practice. And so again, our memory is perfect. My question to you is, how much are you exercising it? How much are you exercising it? And so you can start with simple numbers today. You can start with a different pair. You can start with a certain mantra or some declaration for yourself today, where you're speaking to yourself. You're speaking something positive over your life. And just start memorizing that. You ain't got to memorize the whole paragraph, but memorize something that's going to help build you up. And so remember, you have a perfect memory, but you got to work it, though. You have to work it. Because if you sit around and you become just a consumer of information, like you sit in front of that TV and you allow that TV to just feed you, you're not working your memory. You don't have to. You don't have to work it. If you're just watching different things or allowing things to come in and you're not working that muscle there, okay, that brain, then you're not gonna be able to memorize it. So again, I want to share that with you, man. Again, your mind is the most powerful weapon in the universe. But do you know how to use it? And are you using it? Well, my encouragement today for you is use it. Learn about it. Use it to your good. Use it to create. Use it to build. Use it to build up. Use it to manifest versus the opposite. So listen, man, you guys be encouraged today. I want to encourage you guys too. That's when I wrote my recent book, Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullest, I put a whole chapter in there about this. It's called The Power is in You. It's a chapter on the mind. It's a chapter on the conscious and the subconscious mind and how practically you can use it. And it'll teach you about some of the mistakes that you've made and we've made. But it also teaches you how to correct that and how to live the life you want, okay? And so if you want to check that out, man, you can check it out. It's on Amazon. It's Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullness. If you want, you check it out. It's in PDF version. It's also in paperback, and it's been in the process of being uploaded for audiobook. So as you're riding, as you're driving, man, you're listening to something that's going to build you up. So listen, share this on your pages. Y'all have a wonderful